Okay, home now with the Husqvarna and the dirt bike. The only two items I actually got at auction. I was looking at a few others, but these are the two I ended up with. Originally, this was listed at over 1,500 hours, I believe. It does not have over 1,500, it only has 180 hours. So, of a lot less than I originally thought. 180.9. So a lot more reasonable hours on this machine than originally thought. From what I've seen, it seems to have relatively new casings on it. They still have nubbies. I think the steering gear has been replaced, judging by the way the wheel is cockeyed slightly when both fronts are straight. Both fronts are perfectly straight right now. This does not have the alignment issue that these machines get, which is good. The deck appears to be perfect on this. From what I've seen, I have not seen any rust. The battery is on charge. This machine is pretty much identical to the free John Deere I had a while back, but it had the Briggs engine. This has the Kohler Courage. So from what I can see and what I've seen at the auction so far, there's no real throttle control, so I don't know if something's just messed up in the linkage. And the choke does not come on. So, and actually, the choke's coming on, but it's sticking. So I'm thinking there's something just sticking in that linkage. Hopefully that's all it is. Worst case scenario, I think this might have a bad governor. I know Musty One did a video a while back on one of these with a blown governor. He was actually still able to make the engine run, but they're very uncontrollable. Absolute worst case scenario, this will get an engine. I'll have to switch around some of my ideas on what engine's going in what, but this will get an engine. I have an engine here that will not be going in this, but I have that 21 horse single cylinder that could go in this. So I got some ideas. I got some engines in my horde. I've got a few of them running, but we'll figure out an engine for this if this engine is not savable. But the goal will be is try and save this engine with only 180 hours. Yeah, these engines weren't the greatest, but hopefully by this generation they were better. I did scrap one of these engines just a few weeks back. I saved some stuff. I don't know what I all saved off of it. I'll have to look in the golf cart. That's where I put all the parts. So we'll have to figure out an engine for this. Figure out some parts for this if it comes to it. I did drive it out of the building. It smoked the building out. Unfortunately, they weren't mad or nothing, which is good. But it did smoke, but it was stuck on the choke. So I think that's why it would not start to drive it up on the trailer. It was just way too flooded. So I don't really want to run it, but just trust me, it's stuck on choke. I was able to get it off of choke once I got it outside, but the engine started revving really, really high. So I just left it on choke. I drove it to the trailer and shut it off because I had to get going back and get my dirt bike. It wouldn't restart. So we'll look into this more later, but overall, it's a very, very clean machine. It looks very nice. It's very presentable. So for a machine like this, you definitely want a nice looking engine to go back into it. You don't want to put just a piece of junk engine into a machine like this. It's a very nice, very presentable, potentially a high dollar machine, as long as the repairs don't go too high. Since the casings have already been done on it, I believe all four, probably the bearings have been done. You definitely want to find the right engine for a machine like this if it comes down to replacing the engine. So, a machine I had where the 21 horse came out of, 21 horses of Briggs, was a pretty much identical machine to this. So, it was pretty well scrap, unfortunately. But I saved a lot, sold the transaxle, kept the engine, and scrapped the rest. So, this machine will get fixed. Will it be fixed with its original engine? That's to be determined. but the engine I potentially have for it, it's the one that's in my Poulon Pro, is a very low hours engine. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully this battery takes a charge. It is currently, so I have it on low, shut the key off so we don't gain any more hours. We'll might try starting it later on, but I would like to look into it first. I was originally going to drive this to storage, but this one's going to stay here for a little while until I get the issues figured out. See, in the listing, it was listed as working, but same as with Copart, something could be listed as a run and drive, but it won't make it down the street. Basically, yes, it will move forward, it will move backwards, the deck will engage, but it doesn't necessarily have to completely run and drive. So that's pretty much it for this at the moment, and more on this at a later date. But definitely a very nice, presentable Husqvarna with nowhere near as many hours as the listing said. So talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.